Imagine this. The year is 1066. You are an English soldier, standing at a mist-covered river crossing, your breath growing heavy, your heartbeat pounding inside your chest, and ahead, a man. No, not just a man, but an unstoppable beast. He stands alone on a narrow wooden bridge, blocking the entire path. In his hands, a massive battle axe, and around him lie the lifeless bodies of your fellow soldiers. Blood drips through the cracks of the bridge, the river slowly turning red below. For 250 years, this was the reality of England. The Vikings, not just a name, but a nightmare. They came like fire, burning monasteries, destroying villages, enslaving people in chains.
Warriors, we have victory. The fortress burns. Our enemies are broken, but at a heavy cost. Honor the fallen, we press on.
They took half the kingdom, and no English army could ever fully stop them. But today, something has changed. There is fear in the air, but mixed within it, the scent of resistance, because today, England will not retreat. This is the day, the Battle of Stamford Bridge, a brutal clash where a Viking warrior with his axe alone cuts down nearly 40 English soldiers. In the end, a spear rises from beneath the bridge and pierces through his body, and in a single bloody afternoon, nearly 6,000 Viking warriors meet their end. That day was not just a battle, it was the fall of an era, the final chapter of the Viking Age. It began long ago in 793 with the attack on Lindisfarne Monastery. Then, for over 2 centuries, waves of Norse raiders crashed onto England's shores. Their longships were like shadows, fast, silent, striking without warning. They would arrive without warning, burning, killing, and dragging the living into the darkness of slavery.
Keep moving captives to the ships!
Please, mercy!
Silence! Move or die!
They established dominance in the Danelaw, ruled York, even forced English kings to pay tribute, Danegeld, a humiliating price paid for peace. The Vikings had become an unavoidable reality, a constant terror, something England had learned to live with. But in 1066, one day, one battle is about to change everything. And at the center of this storm, one man, Harald Hardrada, standing at 6 feet 5 inches, while most men were barely 5'6". He wasn't just tall, his presence alone spread fear. At 51 years old, yet there was no fatigue in his eyes, only deeper ruthlessness. 40 years of war had shaped him into a perfect killer. He fought in distant lands of Russia as a mercenary. He stood at the gates of Constantinople, leading the Byzantine Emperor's Varangian Guard. He crushed rebellions, sailed across endless seas, and in the end, through blood and fire, claimed the throne of Norway.
Warriors! The gods test us! Row! Break the storms back! Onward to victory!
Now his eyes are set on England, and history holds its breath for what is about to happen next.
Warriors, hear me! The ravens circle above, hungry for victory. Our enemies falter. Press on. Let our axes sing their doom. Odin watches. Fight we, or die with honor.
His body is like a living map of war, and every scar, every mark, tells the story of a battle fought, forged through years of bloody conflict. This man is Harald Hardrada. Hardrada, meaning a harsh ruler, a ruthless king. It wasn't just a title, it was his identity. Kingdoms across Europe would grow alert at the sound of his name, so when he declared England would be his next target, no one laughed, no one doubted.
Their armies gather here. We must act now.
Everyone did only one thing, prepared for war. His claim may have been weak in the eyes of law, but beside him stood 15,000 fearsome warriors. He claimed his right through tangled promises of old kings, but the truth was simpler, more brutal. England was rich, but divided. King Edward the Confessor had died, leaving no clear heir. And in that gap, the game of power began. 3 men, 1 throne. Harold Godwinson, backed by English nobles, takes the crown.
By the grace of God, I crown thee king. I accept this sacred duty. We pledge our swords and loyalty. Rise and defend the realm.
William of Normandy claimed the throne was promised to him, and Harald Hardrada. He waited for no promise. He knew he had the strength, and with that strength he could seize the throne. In this campaign he finds an unusual ally, Tostig Godwinson, a man standing against his own brother, burning with the fire of revenge. Hatred for his brother drives him to stand beside the enemy. Together they build a terrifying force, 300 longships. A moving storm spread across the sea. This was the largest Viking invasion force in decades. September 1066. They leave Norway's cold shores. 15,000 Viking warriors with only two paths ahead, glory or destruction. As they reach northern England, history begins to repeat itself. The Vikings return to what they know best: looting, fire, killing. Village after village burns to ash, screams fill the sky, fear spreads everywhere. To stop this horror, northern English earls prepare. Edwin and Morcar gather their forces. Their goal: stop the invasion before it spreads south.
See here. A river crossing. It is a risk. A risk we must take. Our warriors are ready.
September 20, just outside York. Fulford. Two armies face each other, and then what follows is a nightmare repeated for England. The Vikings strike, brutal, fast, unstoppable. The English army collapses, thousands are killed, and those who survive scatter and flee. The same story repeated for centuries. Vikings come, Vikings win, English die. After Fulford, York does not fight. Once a Viking capital, Jorvik opens its gates in silence. No resistance, no battle, only surrender. And at that very moment, somewhere far away, the fate of England has already begun to be rewritten.
Warriors, the time has come to defend our homes. We are ready, my lord. Then march for honor and victory.
After the gates of York opened, Harald Hardrada wasted no time. He demanded hostages and supplies and unconditional loyalty. And the city? Without a moment's delay, it handed everything over. Out of fear or habit, it's hard to tell, because for centuries, England had seen this same scene. Vikings win, the English bow. In the warmth of victory, the Vikings felt secure. They believed everything would go as it always had. The northern army was broken, York was theirs. And the King of England, far away, occupied in the south.
See it done. We march at dawn.
They likely thought this king would be like the others. He would offer gold, buy time, or negotiate division, as it had been for generations. But they failed to understand this king was different. He does not fear, he does not yield, he takes revenge. In London, when King Harold Godwinson received the news,
My lords, the enemy gathers. We must strike. The pass is defended, sire. We will flank them here. They will not expect it. A bold move. It could work. The men are ready.
the northern army was crushed. York had fallen. A terrifying reality stood before him. In the south, William of Normandy. In the north, his own brother, a traitor. And beside him, the most feared Viking in Europe, war closing in from both sides. In such a moment, many kings would break. Some would negotiate, others would try to buy peace. But Harold chose a completely different path. He decided this threat must end, now, in one blow, forever. He summoned his most loyal warriors, the housecarls. They were the backbone of his army, experienced, trained, ruthless. And then an impossible journey began, a race against time. The goal, strike the Vikings before they realize, before they can even react. From London to York, 185 miles. Time, only 4 days. That means marching over 40 miles a day, all while carrying heavy weapons, armor, and supplies. This wasn't just hard, it was nearly impossible. Even modern soldiers struggle to march 30 miles, yet they pushed forward through harsh medieval terrain.
Carrying heavy gear, they trudged through Rhinen for up to 50 miles. Modern infantry, with better logistics, cover shorter distances with greater efficiency.
In the heat of September, fully armed, they completed this march. Many collapsed from exhaustion. Some died along the Ettrick. Others fell to heat stroke, and still, the army did not stop. Those who fell behind ran to catch up, because they knew their king would not stop. Harold gave no one rest, not even for a moment, because he knew. In this war, his greatest weapon was not the sword nor numbers, but speed. The outcome of this battle depended on just one thing: time.
William's forces are here at Hastings. The invaders are already marching. Then we march for Stamford Bridge. What about reinforcements from Shrewsbury? They will join us. Move now.
If Harald Hardrada had a little time to organize his forces, to strengthen his defenses and call more Vikings from the sea, then stopping him would become nearly impossible. But if he could be struck suddenly, if he could be caught unprepared, if his army was scattered, then everything could change. This was King Harold Godwinson's plan, a risky move, a desperate gamble.
To Stamford Bridge, then south, for England.
Because if this plan failed, England's future would sink into darkness. Meanwhile, Harald Hardrada knows nothing. He has no idea. A storm is rushing toward him. After the victory at Fulford, his army stops at Stamford Bridge, just 7 miles east of York, a small, quiet village. Here they would collect hostages and supplies, what York had promised them. The location was chosen carefully, a bridge over the River Derwent. Easy access, a secure meeting point. Everything seemed to be going as planned. September 25th, a strangely beautiful morning. Unusually warm for northern England. The sun shines bright, the heat slowly rising.
Warriors, the gods have brought us to this river. We stand as brothers, ready for the trials ahead. We are ready, my lord. For victory in Valhalla!
After weeks of war and long marches, the Viking warriors make a decision. A decision, and that seemed perfectly reasonable at the time. They leave behind their heavy armor, chainmail, and large weapons on ships anchored at Rickall, 12 miles away. Because on a hot day, no one wants to march in heavy armor. When you're just going to collect tribute, who would carry 70 pounds of armor in the morning light? The Viking camp feels less like a battlefield, more like a resting place. Some bask in the sun, others step into the river to cool off. Some eat in peace, many keep their armor nearby, but not worn. Weapons are there, but not in their hands. They are no longer warriors, but men resting after victory, confident, relaxed, and completely unprepared. Then, someone looks toward the distant hills, a strange movement, and then it becomes clear. Thousands of soldiers, gleaming weapons, fully armed, marching straight toward them.
Slay them all!
And in that moment, the calm of morning shatters. War has found them. The shock of this moment is not just terrifying, it's almost unbelievable. The King of England was supposed to be far away, in London, 200 miles away, but now he is here, right in front, with a fully prepared army. Chaos erupts across the Viking camp. Those who were resting in the sun moments ago now run, stumble, and struggle to find their weapons. Shouts, collisions, panic, all collide into one. And within this chaos, Harald Hardrada realizes everything is falling apart. 40 years of war have taught him when danger arrives. And now, his army is at its weakest. Scattered, almost without armor, divided by a river, and their true strength lies 12 miles away on their ships. He begins shouting orders. This chaos must be turned into formation. Immediately, horsemen are sent toward Rickall, where the rest of their forces and supplies remain. But time is not on their side.
Stand your ground! Victory is ours!
12 miles out and back again. In this heat, it would take hours, and the English, they will not wait. So Harold has only one option. Buy time, by any means necessary, until his men can reclaim their weapons, until they can form a strong shield wall.
Forward! Take the bridge! For the king! Push them back! Die, invader!
His eyes fix on the narrow bridge over the River Derwent, a narrow path where even two men can barely pass, a perfect barrier. A bottleneck where a few men can hold back an entire army. This situation demands one thing: sacrifice. Harold quickly orders his men to regroup, to form a shield wall across the river, their last line of defense. But first, the English must cross that bridge, and in that moment, Harold needs one man, just one, who will stand alone against an entire army.
I cross to join you. Steel your hearts. Together we march to victory. Victory for honor!
Who will buy time with his life. History forgot his name, but not his deed. He steps forward, willingly or by command, one of Harold's housecarls, a seasoned warrior. In his hands, a massive axe, but on his body, no armor, because there was no time. Still, he did not stop. He walked toward the bridge, to stand alone before an entire army.
Warriors! The time has come! For honor and glory!
In his hands was only one weapon, a terrifying Danish war axe, nearly 3 feet long, with a crescent blade.
Warriors of the North, the time has come! Aye, for victory! Cross the river! Claim the land! On in victory! Forward to glory!
Forged to split even armored men in a single strike. No armor, no shield. Yet there is no hesitation in his stance. Slow, steady steps carry him onto the narrow wooden bridge. He stops at the center, as if this place was meant for him. The advancing English still believe this will be an easy crossing. Cross the bridge, strike the unprepared enemy. But then they see him. One man, alone, standing at the center, blocking an entire army, tall over 6 feet, built with muscle, that axe in his hands. As if it weighs nothing, he does not move, does not retreat, does not fear. Instead, his gaze throws a challenge. Come, if you can, move me. To the English commanders, it seems madness. One unarmored warrior against an entire army. The order is given, advance, and then history unfolds. The first English soldier steps onto the bridge. He is dead before he can raise his weapon. The axe falls like lightning, a perfect strike, splitting his chest, throwing him into the river below. What follows is no longer battle. It becomes a one-sided slaughter.
Forward! No quarter! For the fallen! Odin guides us! Charge!
English soldiers rush in groups, 2, 3 at a time, trying to overwhelm him with numbers, but the bridge is too narrow. Numbers mean nothing. They are forced into a single line. The battle becomes a brutal personal duel, a contest of skill, strength, and reach. And in all three, he is superior. His axe outranges their swords. He strikes from a distance, before enemies can even reach him. Every strike is final, death or crippling injury. Shields break, helmets split, limbs are torn apart. Bodies begin to pile on the bridge, stacked upon each other, forming a wall. When the corpses block his movement, he kicks them into the river below. As if this is normal, as if this is his purpose. The bridge is no longer just a path. It becomes a line between death and resistance. And on that line stands one man. Beneath the bridge, the river begins to change color, from clear blue to deep red, stained by English blood. One falls, then another, then more, 10, 20, 30. The count fades into chaos. And the warrior at the center of the bridge, he is no longer just a man, but a living storm. He fights in berserker rage, where there is no fear, no pain, no death. Arrows fly toward him. He dodges with impossible speed, sometimes deflecting with the axe, sometimes bending away. Spears strike, he knocks them aside. Blades cut him, but cannot stop him. His body is soaked in blood, yet his eyes show no fatigue, only fury, as if he no longer feels pain, only knows he must kill. Meanwhile, behind him on the eastern bank, the Vikings are buying time.
We honor them by carrying them home.
They gather weapons, pull on armor, forming a solid defensive line. As long as the lone defender stands, every second is precious. Every English death means the attack is delayed further. He knew this bridge was his final battlefield. Here he would die, but before he falls, he will make them pay. The English commanders grow desperate. They send their best warriors forward.
The enemy advances. We cannot falter. I rally the men to the bridge. For the king, charge! Forward, no retreat! For victory!
Veteran housecarls, clad in heavy armor, men forged in countless battles. Still nothing changes. The Viking kills them one by one, sometimes striking through gaps in armor, sometimes breaking defenses with sheer force. They try to attack together, but the bridge stops them. No space, no rhythm. And he turns chaos into power. They push forward with shields, but fail every time. His axe hooks and tears shields aside, exposing the men behind them. Time passes. 1 hour. The bridge is slick with blood covered in bodies. Nearly 40 English soldiers are dead, and still he stands, an entire army held back by a single man.
Odin's fury still burns! I claim this victory!
Humiliation, anger, frustration, all rising. They cannot accept this. And in that moment, one English soldier thinks differently. Advancing across the bridge is now impossible. That lone warrior keeps stopping them again and again. Every attempt ends in bloody failure. So they decide to change tactics. If they cannot pass from above, they will strike from below. Amid the chaos, they find a small boat, or perhaps a wooden barrel. History is uncertain. A brave soldier climbs in, holding a long spear. His comrades set him adrift in the current.
Order! You will not take us!
Slowly, silently, he moves beneath the bridge. Above, the Viking still strikes like thunder. Above, a battle of death and resistance. Below, an unseen strike approaches. The soldier below looks upward, searching for gaps in the wooden planks. He sees nothing clearly, only hears metal, screams and chaos. Then he finds it, a small opening.
Odin, witness me! For Valhalla! Charge!
Without hesitation, he thrusts his spear upward, blindly, but with full force, and the strike finds its mark. The spear pierces the defender from below, unexpected, driving deep into his body. The blow is fatal, absolute. For a moment, everything stops. Then, the unstoppable warrior begins to fall, the man who held back an army alone.
Forward, brothers, no retreat! Odin for the clan! Ha! Take that! Run! Victory!
His body collapses on the bridge, blood dripping through the wood below. For over an hour, he stood alone. He killed nearly 40 men and bought time for his allies. But in the final moment, he never knew who struck him down. The moment he falls, the English do not wait. They surge across the bridge, burning with rage and vengeance. They spread across the eastern bank, forming ranks as they advance. They crash into the Viking shield wall. Then the real battle begins. Shields and weapons collide, metal clashes, screams echo across the land. But now, the Vikings are at a disadvantage. Many still lack armor. They fight in simple clothing, and against fully armored English warriors, they have courage, the will to resist. But the English have discipline and protection. When the two shield walls meet, reality turns brutal. English weapons pierce through, while Viking blows glance off armor. Amid the chaos, Harald Hardrada steps forward.
For Valhalla!
As he has for 40 years, he does not stay back. He leads from the front. At 6'5", towering over the battlefield, impossible to miss. His sword rises, falls, each strike a sentence of death, and with every blow, another English soldier falls.
Warriors, the storm calls us to battle! For glory, for Odin! Charge! Let the earth tremble! Charge!
Amid the chaos of battle, Harald Hardrada does not yield. His voice, his presence, his will are the last hope. He knows if the line holds a little longer, reinforcements from Rickall will arrive. And then the balance could shift. But reality is cruel. The line slowly begins to collapse. One by one, Vikings fall. Some lack armor, others lack protection. English armor presses them down.
For Odin! Fight, brothers! No quarter!
Blows that should be stopped now pierce through flesh. The shield wall cracks, tears apart, like a collapsing wave, and in that collapse, Harold moves from one end to another, closing gaps, rallying men, cutting down enemies himself. He is not just a king, he is a battle himself.
You will not take me! Die, you dog!
But war does not always reward courage. Suddenly an arrow. From the English line it flies, striking his throat. For a moment he stops, grasps the arrow with his hand. No fear in his eyes, only a strange calm. He tries to stand, to fight once more.
Not today! We fight! On your feet, push them back! For the king! No mercy! Drive them back!
But his body fails him. Slowly he falls, the most feared Viking in Europe, falls on an English field. With a single arrow, an era ends. With his fall, all should have ended. But the Vikings do not break. They gather around him, forming the line again, as if nothing has ended, as if the battle continues. At this moment, Tostig takes command, a brother turned enemy. He tries to hold it together with what strength remains. And within this chaos, something unexpected happens. Harold Godwinson steps forward before his brother.
Warriors, the enemy falters! Charge with me! For Odin, charge! No mercy! Strike them down! For the Halla!
In the midst of battle, with a flag of truce, one final attempt, he says, "Come back, all will be restored to you." Silence. Then a question. "What of Hardrada?" The answer comes cold. "He will have 6 feet of English ground. Perhaps 7, for he was taller than most." With those words, all paths close. Brother against brother. Weapons rise again. The battle reignites. And then dust rises in the distance. From Rickall, Viking reinforcements finally arrive. Dust rises in the distance. At last, the awaited force arrives, hundreds of warriors running 12 miles to reach here, fully armored, weapons and shields in hand. Their chests heave. Breathing becomes a struggle. In September, heat, chainmail soaked in sweat.
Follow! I lead on! Charge! For honor and victory! Charge for the realm!
Yet, they do not stop. They came to fight till the end. Even in exhaustion, they become fresh strength, fully equipped, ready to deal death. Without hesitation, they slam into English lines.
No mercy! Die, invader!
Suddenly, the tide of battle shifts. For the first time, Vikings meet equal resistance. Their armor deflects English strikes. The clash grows fiercer, more brutal. Fresh Vikings surge against weary Englishmen.
For honor and glory! You'll die here, invader! Charge! Slay them all! Not while I stand! Your end is near!
For a moment, it feels like the battle may turn, but reality does not bend to hope. Only a few hundred against thousands, surrounded on all sides, outnumbered, and their king already lies dead. They were not winning, only buying time for an inevitable end that cannot be stopped.
The battle is over. We must tend to our fallen. Aye, and see who yet lives. The banners still fly.
By afternoon, everything changes. The Viking shield wall finally collapses. Fatigue, losses, pressure break the line apart. It had stood so long on courage alone. As the line breaks, slaughter begins. Those without armor begin to flee. Cavalry gives chase, cutting them down one by one. Some groups stand till the end, fighting where they stand.
Warriors for Odin and glory! Odin glory! No mercy! Brother, hold on! Can you hear me?
Too late, save yourself.
The battle is over! Form ranks! I won't leave you here to die!
And there they fall. Some try to surrender, but mercy is gone. The English are furious and exhausted. Around them lie their fallen comrades. They spare no one, not today. The slaughter spreads across the field. Those fleeing to ships are cut down on the way. Those who reach the woods are surrounded, and mercilessly they are finished. The afternoon sun shines over it all.
Their sacrifice will be honored. We must carry on. I know, but the pain remains.
A calculated, merciless destruction. Tostig, the traitor brother, falls by English hands who may not even know him, Hardrada's son. Olaf makes one last effort. He calls out, trying to gather the scattered.
Warriors! The gods are watching! For Odin! Charge! No mercy! Fight for glory! Charge for valor!
But by then, nothing remains. The army is broken, scattered everywhere, and slowly, everything fades into darkness. The River Derwent was no longer just a river that day. It had become a drifting graveyard of the fallen. In a final attempt, many Vikings leapt into the water, hoping the current might carry them away from death, but their heavy armor dragged them down into the cold, silent darkness below. Those who managed to surface were targeted by English archers on the banks. There was no escape. Death closed in from every side. Some bodies drifted away with the current, silently disappearing without a trace. Others gathered where the current slowed, where the river held on to the dead. Slowly, layers formed, bodies piling over one another. Chroniclers described a horrifying sight, where bodies were said to lie impossibly thick. They claimed men could walk across corpses, crossing without touching water. Whether true or not, it reveals the brutality of that day.
So many brothers, lost, a hollow victory. We must rise, for them. I fear I cannot. You must, we all must.
When the battle finally ended, the English could no longer stand. Where they fought, they collapsed, their bodies completely spent. 4 days, 185 miles marched, then hours of relentless combat, in full armor, under brutal heat. The limits of the human body were reached.
Brothers, rise. The battle is not over. We are spent. We cannot go on. For the fallen, we must honor them. We rise.
Some collapsed unconscious, others never rose again. Some died even after the battle, their bodies giving in to exhaustion and heat. This victory was not easy. It was paid in blood and strength. They won completely, but the weight of victory was immense. Harold Godwinson's housecarls, his finest warriors, suffered heavy losses.
We survived. That's what matters now. I can't bear it. We will, together.